Now, let me ask you: do you think Carl Sargon of Akkad Benjamin is going to be the man to save the UK?
Well, the problem is that he has read Loki, and and you know, I fear that he is, you know, imbibed this kind of Germanic paganism to such a degree that he's giving neo-Nazism a bad name. He's just simply taking it too far. He doesn't understand the optics question, and he's just you know, at this point, he's just
are you sure? Because he has a 20-year plan, I'm told. So, I mean,
really, that's interesting. I mean, I think in some ways
MLK was wrong.
Well, I mean, look, to his credit, he's, you know, I always like to give credit where credit's due. You know, Sargon has actually said some interesting things. I remember he was defending the "it's okay to be white" meme, and he's, you know, he's not the worst, but in a way,
we were just poking fun at him a little bit.
Oh yeah, sure, as you should. But in a way, he's a kind of expression of this too, because, you know, it's like he's a liberalist embracing individualism and making fun of SJWs, and that is it. That is about as far as you can go. And
I'll tell you, one of the reasons I poke fun at him is because, you know, we followed each other on Twitter and stuff, and maybe sent a couple tweets back and forth, like maybe just 2 or 3 ever. But we did follow each other. But before the last show, we hadn't really talked, and I just messaged you. I said, hey, you know, you think come on sometime? I said, yeah, why don't I just come on tonight? And you just came on. And then today I said, hey, you know, you mind jumping on for a little while? You know, talking to us about Tommy Robinson and stuff. And you're like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Sargon I've known for years. I've been on his streams. We've talked plenty of times in private. Now he just doesn't even want to like converse with me at all. Like he can't even return a message, and I really don't understand why, to be honest with you. It's just, I don't know if it's you like fucked him up mentally from that debate or whatever, but he just, no, I'm serious, because we always had a good relationship, and now I think he thinks because I've had you on the show and I've had other, you know, quote unquote alt-right people or whatever, that I'm, you know, alt-right, and he can't associate with that anymore. I really don't even know what his mindset is now, but
well, he wrote a letter. Someone read that to me, where he's basically said,
I was going to read that to you actually, and get your thoughts on it. Do you mind if I do that?
No.
All right. This is from Sargon of Akkad, straight from his Skype account, and his top lieutenant, tweeted out on Twitter, and I think he also posted on Facebook, Sargon himself. He said, "Dear alt-right, I spent 0 hours per day thinking about you." I think he meant I spend, but whatever. I am not interested in any of your public personalities or anything that you do. You do not factor into any decisions that I make. I have already spent my time investigating and debating major alt-right personalities, and now my investigation has concluded. It's evident that your movement is incapable of achieving its goals and is losing adherents due to the toxic nature of the identity politics that you are advocating. Your resistance to unfamiliar thought puts you in the realm of the religious, with a bizarre veneration of state power that could be remedied by reading authors that you pathologically rebuke despite having no idea of what they say. I think he might be talking about Loki there, but I would say that we should just be friends, but the alt-right has been inexplicably cruel to me, my family, and anyone else who refuses to agree with you, and so I have no interest in dealing with you at all. I suggest you ignore me as I ignore you, and get on with whatever it is that gives meaning to your lives. Good luck with the white race. Have a great day. Now, before I let you respond, I want to point out that we did a show just the other day. He made another video about the alt-right, and he definitely has not given up talking about the alt-right, despite what he said in this letter. And now, what do you think about the letter?
Well, I mean, this reminds me of the lady doth protest too much, where, it's like, well, Jenny, I don't even think about you at all since you dumped me. I mean, I have not thought about you one time. I most certainly have not built a vigil for you in my basement, and I've certainly not lit candles in your honor or huddled on my bed at 2 a.m. with my phone looking at photos for our last vacation together. Like, he's just like, he's obsessing. Like, it's not real. Like, I've never spent a moment thinking about you. It's just no one believes that. And then also just this, you haven't read. I mean, it was a kind of like, have you even read? Look, kind of stuff. It's just it's total nonsense. I think we did break him. I mean, I got that chance, and I took it, and I went after him very hard. And I think the way that I broke him, and I'm not really trying to toot my own horn here, but the way that I broke him is that I didn't get into a liberal off with him. So what I've noticed with most debates is that you'll have two people who try to out liberal one another.
Yes.
And, so that whole decade of atheism versus theism debates, you would have, Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris or something like that on one side, and then you'd have a fundamentalist or a creationist on the other. And they would try to out liberal each other. So they would be like, we can't have a true liberal society without God. Oh, yes, we can. We can have it with science. Oh, no, we can't. And they were just saying who best supports, human rights and infinite human freedom and all this kind of stuff. And I just took him off that chessboard and put him on my chessboard, which is that there has never truly been absolute free speech or absolute individual freedom. All politics is identity politics. At some point, it is about us versus them. It's whether you want to consciously play that game or not, or if you want to unilaterally surrender. So I kind of took him out of it, and I don't think anyone ever did that to him before. He's only debated SJWs who don't use reason at all. Like it's just pure emotion and hurt and, all that kind of stuff. And I don't think he's ever encountered actual illiberal thought.
Plus, I think what really really got to him was the line, and maybe you could quote it better than me, but it's basically, Sargon, you're really not as smart as you think you are. And that just really seemed to fucking just tear him up. And it's not even necessarily saying you're an idiot. That's not what you meant by it. At least I didn't take it that way. It's just like, wow, you really you overestimate yourself, and that's kind of one of your major weaknesses.
It's the big brained problem.
Yeah.
There was one line that ended him. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, I was just like, oh god, the dagger.
That was the kill shot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I did this service for humanity.